Leadership of the People's Democratic Party in the Southeast Zone has again renominated Sunday Udeh-Okoye as the party's national secretary. The PDP leaders in the Southeast announced this in a communique issued at the end of their meeting in Enugu on Wednesday. The communique obtained was signed by the PDP National Vice Chairperson, Ali Odefa. At the meeting on Wednesday, the gathering said the PDP Governors Forum had set up a panel to review the court judgment. At its 14 April meeting in Ibadan, Oyo State, they said the forum recommended that the Southeast PDP nominate a candidate who would serve out the remaining tenure of the party's national secretary, zoned to the region. The Southeast PDP leaders said the party's National Working Committee adopted the forum's recommendation directing the region's Zonal Executive Committee to nominate a candidate for the National Secretary position. According to the communique, the PDP's National Working Committee adopted the recommendations on 29 April during its 600th meeting held at the party's national headquarters, Wadata Plaza, Abuja. They appealed to the national leadership of the PDP to immediately ratify the latest renomination of Mr. Udeh-Okoye as the party's national secretary, arguing that the ratification will bring the needless lingering dispute over the matter to a close. They said, however, in the event that our position is not promptly implemented by the party, the Southeast PDP as a family will be compelled to reconsider our relationship with the PDP going forward. Meanwhile, management and staff of the People's Democratic Party on Wednesday took a stand on the leadership crisis in the party, particularly the seat of the national secretary. PDP's Director of Administration, Gurama Bawa, on behalf of the 83 staff, spoke while addressing journalists at a press conference in Abuja. They expressed their acceptance of a recent resolution by the PDP Governors Forum affirming Koshoedo as the acting national secretary of the party. Declaring their position on the matter, the PDP staff said, after a thorough consideration, the management and staff of the PDP National Secretariat unanimously aligned with and declare unalloyed loyalty to the recommendation of the PDP's Governors Forum as adopted by the National Working Committee in recognizing and working with architect Koshoedo as the acting national secretary of our party in line with the provisions of the PDP Constitution. We believe that the National Working Committee's directive that architect Koshoedo acts as National Secretary is in the overall interest of the stability of our party, being the best step at the moment to restore the confidence of the members of the party and preserve the integrity of our internal processes, given the sensitive nature of the office of the National Secretary in the operation of a political party. Nze, what do you make of this development in PDP?
You know, PDP is already struggling to regain balance. And I believe that every step, every movement they make now should be considered holistically. Not just doing it to play the politics in it, but to secure their ground in the political field of Nigeria as a political party. And the National Working Committee had already advised the Southeast to renominate another person after the Supreme Court declared their stand on the petition from Samanyang that Southeast Caucus should go and renominate another person. And they came back and renominated Sunday Udeh-Okoye to represent them in the office of National Secretary, since it is the quota of the Southeast. Now, that was okay. But you see that what the Governors Forum did on 29th of April was not bad, to appoint an acting secretary.
The Governors Forum?
Yeah. The Architect Sotonji appointment as serving in acting capacity.
The Governors Forum?
The Governors Forum, not the National Working Committee.
Go ahead.
It's not bad.
All right.
Because somebody had to be there. Power does not exist in a vacuum. But that action will have to work in tandem with the instruction given by National Working Committee. By the time the Southeast caucus have come up to say this is our candidate, I think what they will do is that the man working in acting capacity should be able to step down to enable the substantive secretary emerge. That's what, because I believe that if they don't handle it this way, the crisis in PDP will continue. And you see that already the statement of the Southeast PDP caucus is a signal. There's a signal in it. And that signal should be well understood by the entire PDP family.
Threats.
I call it a signal. I call it. I didn't want to call it a threat because you know already the politics is heated up. Okay. We try to manage our words, so it's a signal that in case you carry on with Akde Sotenji, which the staff in Wadata Plaza have given their approval on, if nothing is done, it is likely that PDP might be shaken in the Southeast. And you know that since 1999, Southeast have been a kind of, if I may call it, a PDP zone. Apart from Anambra and at some time Abia. And now that Ebonyi and Abia State and Anambra have, disconnected. And Abia State too. So, but you know that PDP has stayed in Southeast for the 16 years they were in office. PDP was holding sway in Southeast. So if at this point, Southeast caucus also give them trouble, no, it will not be a good fight for PDP as a political party in Nigeria.
Now, to a large extent, I am also looking at, the activities of the National Working Committee and the PDP Governors Forum. But first, when you were speaking, you said that you applauded the PDP Governors Forum for the role they have played so far. For
covering that vacuum.
You said for appointing
Setonji.
Yes.
In acting capacity.
In acting capacity as the National Secretary. Now, to a large extent, I kept asking you, PDP's Governors Forum, does PDP Governors Forum have any constitutional rights within the party structure to elect or appoint a national officer?
No, they don't.
No. Because I'm wondering how you're applauding them. That's on one hand. Now, there appears to be some kind of contradiction. In fact, at this point, I'm even beginning to suspect the actions of the PDP Governors Forum. Because on one hand, they had a meeting 14th of April, and they now advised...
That was National Working Committee had meeting on 14th.
The PDP's Governors Forum.
They had theirs on 29th.
And they advised that the zonal, the Southeast zone should appoint, because Anyanwu is from Southeast zone of the PDP.
Anyanwu is from there. Udeh-Okoye is also from there.
PDP Governors Forum is advising that the Southeast zone should appoint somebody to finish up the tenure of Samuel Anyanwu, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. And the National Working Committee adopted that and said that the PDP Southeast, according to what they are saying, should go and appoint. And now they have gone and renominated Udeh-Okoye. The same Governors Forum and the same National Working Committee now goes back to, support or give their support to the Deputy National Secretary. That's on one hand. Now, you have the Governors Forum and the National Working Committee playing these double roles. On the other hand, there is a Supreme Court judgment that set aside the High Court and Appeal Court judgment that sacked Samuel Anyanwu. We can't, and Samuel Anyanwu is still very much alive and still very much acting. So that Supreme Court judgment has not, you can't set it aside. It's there. So is PDP saying that they are going to disregard the Supreme Court judgments and go ahead with whatever it is they are doing?
You remember that Supreme Court said that parties' internal problem had to be settled not by court, but by the party structure. And that is what PDP has begun to do.
Okay.
But I'm seeing confusion. Just as I said, that there is a signal in the statement of the Southeast Caucus of the PDP. And that signal should be adhered by the PDP as a political party. Now we begin to see what look like you rightly said, contradiction. The National Working Committee, of which I believe that the PDP governors belong to the NEC, and perhaps could be members of the NWC. But looking at the fact that it is the NWC that has the constitutional right to decide who becomes what.
It is actually the National Executive Committee. It is the NEC, not the NWC.
Okay.
NWC can only act in that capacity when NEC, you're a party man.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So NWC can only act in that capacity when NEC sees their powers to them. But NWC is the highest decision-making body of the party, according to its working structure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, when you look at the decision they have taken on the 14th of April, now coming to 29th of April, the Governors Forum came up to say what they wanted to say, which to me, first, I applaud that, because you don't leave that office just like that. You don't leave that office porous. So bringing in somebody now to act in that capacity for the time being, pending the resolution that the Southeast Caucus will come up with, that now so and so person is our candidate, and the National Working Committee accepting it and things like that, then this architect Setonji can now step down. But I begin to see another wrong signal coming from the staff, the endorsement of Architect Setonji. So if this is allowed to carry, definitely the fight, the struggle, the internal wrangling in PDP is not, the settlement of internal wrangling in PDP is not on site. Which I will warn that will not help us.
The fact that bringing in Architect Setonji to finish up the tenure of a national secretary who is from the Southeast. Architect Setonji, is he from Southeast?
That's what I'm saying.
Is this not
Setonji is not expected to stay longer than the day Southeast to say this is our candidate.
Is it not the fight that Ganduje had in APC, when even within his zone, people are saying it's not, it shouldn't be you. It is, we are not central. We are not this. You're from this also and so part of the north. It should not be, even within the north, they are rotating it. Damagum also had the same crisis.
Yeah.
That even within their zone, it is not supposed to be your side of the north. It's supposed to be these people's side of the north. Now, if National Working Committee and the PDP Governors Forum, in their wisdom, decides to bring up someone who is not from the Southeast to take over the position of the National Secretary who is from Southeast, don't you think this decision will further balkanize the party? Definitely.
That's why I said, I advise, because to me, it's an advice to the PDP, that they should not allow the man serving in acting capacity 1 minute after the Southeast have presented their candidate and adopted by National Working Committee. So as soon as, since he's serving in acting capacity, as soon as Sunday Udeh-Okoye emerges, he drops. Because he is not the substantial candidate for that office. No. He is acting, he's working there in acting capacity as appointed by Governors Forum, which ordinarily does not have that right.
That's the question. So if an entity, not even legally recognized, let's even understand that Governors Forum, whether APC Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum, it's not registered. It's not recognized. So cannot act independently in any capacity. Right. Now, how are they taking the position of the NEC? Let's say there is need for them to appoint. Is it the PDP's Governors Forum that will appoint?
Now, why I took it that the PDP Governors Forum came in to settle a fight.
The most they can do, is it not play an advisory role? Just like the Board of Trustees cannot enforce anything, but can only play
but an advisory you say that we have not seen National Working NWC coming to refute what the Governors Forum did. They have simply given instructions.
Governors Forum did two things here. On one hand, they said they advised that the Southeast zone should appoint someone to finish up the tenure of Senator Samuel Anyanwu.
Yeah.
NWC ratified that decision and told the Southeast to go ahead. Now, Southeast has come out with has gone to renominate
Sunday Udeh-Okoye.
Yes. Then the same PDP's Governors Forum, while they have given this advice, ran back to now give their backing and their blessing to Architect Setonji to come out. And the same National Working Committee is still backing. Like, I am trying to make it make sense to me. Do you understand the contradiction?
Everybody is already saying.
The question would be, what is it for PDP's Governors Forum? I mean, these are PDP governors that are neither here nor there. These are PDP governors that are PDP members, but they are, some of them or one or two have come out to openly endorse the president,
the APC candidate.
Candidate for 2027, and they have said they will work for him. So the question is, what exactly is their interest?
Permit me to say this. That is my personal opinion at this point. That the PDP we are seeing today, that was once a strong political party, is losing it completely from the internal crisis they're having. And you know, when a battle is fought from within, it is difficult to settle. And now, we are already saying, we have said it in many fora, that PDP is like a sinking ship. So, efforts being made to rescue that ship from capsizing is failing by the day. Because when you look at what happened in the month of April by the National Working Committee and the Governors Forum, and looking at the backing that Architect Setonji is getting, you now see that PDP is not interested in what the Southeast Caucus is coming to say. And who is the PDP now? We will say that the PDP now is the chairman and other principal officers. Because the office of the secretary, that's supposed to be the number 2 office there, seem not to be occupied by the right person.
But there was a recent document with regards to the Guba candidate of Anambra State that was submitted to INEC, and it was signed by the National Secretary, Samuel Anyanwu.
And INEC recognized it.
Yes, and it was recognized by INEC, and INEC also, acknowledged the receipt of that document. So now, Supreme Court judgments, INEC recognizes the Supreme Court judgment, which opposes or affirms the position of Samuel Anyanwu to a large extent.
Supreme Court, I didn't see Supreme Court as upholding Sam Anyawu's
in that judgment. Recall that the appeal court sitting in Enugu sacked Samuel Anyanwu as the national chairman. This is almost what is going on in the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And Supreme Court in their judgment set aside
that judgment.
And
made a pronouncement
that the court in the first instance did not have jurisdiction to entertain that.
Yeah.
What was the judgment of the court? Sacking of Samuel Anyanwu. Setting it aside means that Samuel Anyanwu returns, pending when otherwise is done. Probably when an election is done, right? Is
it really election or pending the decision of the National Working Committee and the NEC?
It is an elective position, not a position by appointment. But then, let me hear from George. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning again to throw light on PDP crisis is George Azonda Achinda. Good morning, George, and welcome.
Good morning, Vera. Good morning, others.
George, you're a PDP member, correct? I want to clarify that. You're a PDP member. I asked because you are a PDP member and you're in the best position as well to throw light on what is going on in your party. So, George, what do you make of this development?
Well, I feel that what is happening to PDP is self-inflicted. Ordinarily, for such a party that is very big, the ruling party as at when democracy returned in 1999, the problem happening in the PDP today regarding Sam Anyanwu and Charles
Sunday Udeh-Okoye.
Sunday Udeh-Okoye. And another person, there is a third person that has joined.
Architect Setonji.
The national deputy The Deputy National Secretary.
Yeah, so such should not happen at this time. But like I said, it's self-inflicted because of selfish interest of some persons that is tearing the party apart. The position of the secretary of the party at the national level, or just like any other level, is an elected position, not an appointment. I think those who are fronting Udeh-Okoye should wait for the Congress. You know, any position that is zoned to the southeast, they should, you know, project the person. For now, Sam Anyang have not served as a stand, because, like you said, even though he lost at the lower court, the trial courts, he lost at the appeal court. When they went to Supreme Court set it aside and said that the matter is an internal party matter, that the Supreme Court do not have you know, right to even discuss or entertain the matter. They should go back and handle the matter. And this is an elected position. For me, I think they should allow Sam Anyang to finish his term during the next Congress or convention, rather. They can elect whoever they want to elect. How can you, someone who was elected at the convention, then party leaders will regroup, not even all of them, a few of them, regroup themselves and say, we are removing this person. I mean, what that means is that it's no longer rule of law. Anybody can wake up anytime to say, even a national party chairman, your tenure has expired, or it hasn't expired, but we don't have a vote of, in fact, we don't have confidence in you anymore. Therefore, step aside. That is exactly what we are trying to discourage. If they allow this thing to succeed, then it means that the party at all times will be having problems, because a group of persons will just come up and take a decision that may not all go well with the party, and because they are powerful, they want it to stand. So for me, they should allow Sam Anyang to finish his tenure. During the next convention, they should nominate whoever they want to nominate. But like I said, it's self-inflicted because of the interest, vested interest in the party, different blocks in the party. Of course, we know where Sam Anyang's support lies, and those who want to push him out will know where their support lies. So, you know, this is exactly the problem. Unfortunately, the PDP as of today is having a serious problem that you don't even want to, you know, identify with them as a party. Seriously. How can you, you know, a party, a big party like the PDP, we're talking about election, national election for 2027, which is barely 2 years from now. Barely 2 years from now. And up to now, they're having this kind of internal crisis. At what point are they going to put their act together? How would they mount a formidable challenge against, you know, the president, the ruling party, APC, with all these internal squabbles here and there? And it's really shameful, you know, for a big party like PDP that has people, you know, politicians of repute from 1999 or even before then to this day, we should call these people to order. But like I said, it's self-inflicted because of their selfish interest. If not for that, what is there that they cannot call the caucus, the Southeast caucus? Okay, let's leave Sam Anyang to finish this matter. Because right now, it's important that we put an act together as a party to be able to mount a formidable challenge. But like you said, even the governors, some of them have already pitched into the president, meaning that the PDP, except there's some kind of miracle.
Miraculous intervention.
Except there's some kind of miracle. I don't see them.
Now, the question I want to ask, George, I had asked, and say I'm still going to ask you that question, and that is the role the National Working Committee and the PDP Governors Forum has played in either resolving or further exacerbating this crisis. Now, because the PDP Southeast zone is saying that the PDP Governors Forum, after their meeting, you know, advised that PDP Southeast should be allowed to appoint someone to finish up the tenure of Senator Samuel Nanyang, since Senator Samuel Nanyang is coming from the Southeast zone. And the National Working Committee ratified it, adopted it, and went ahead to tell them to go ahead and do that. Now, suddenly, while they are doing their renomination of Udeh-Okoye, the same PDP Governors Forum and National Working Committee is suddenly backing the Deputy National Secretary, Architect Setonji. And now the staff of PDP Secretariat, National Secretariat, and I'm trying to understand in the grand scheme of things how the staff of the PDP National Secretariat can weigh a lot of influence to come out and declare press conference and say we are backing the national secretary to now be the acting secretary of PDP. What do you make of that?
That also shows the level of confusion in that party. From what you just said here, at one point they were backing another person. The governors forum advised. At another point, the same people, the same organs, backing on that. What kind of confusion is that? It's, like I said, it's self-inflicted because of selfish interest. Because of selfish interest, as against, like there are two poles there. People on this other pool and the other people on the other pool. So most of them backing these other persons as against. That is the problem you see happening in the party. It's really shameful for a party like the PDP. The same organ. In the first place, governors forum, yes, advisory, they can play that role. But as far as I know, based on the rule, governors forum do not even have anything to do with the day-to-day running of the party. They are under the party leadership, the neck.
Which brings the question, what is the interest of the governors forum?
Like I said earlier, because of their selfish interest, all this thing is because they actually want someone else. They are playing someone's role, someone's script for them. Yeah. That's exactly the point. If they want to see this thing from neutral angle and they want their party to be strong enough to mount a formidable challenge, it doesn't stop anything because Sam Ayaw is not ready to throw in the towel. This fight has been lingering for a very long time now. If ordinarily they wanted peace for the party, they would have noticed that Sam Ayaw is standing based on that court ruling, Supreme Court ruling. And because they have not done a new convention, what that means is that he is still the secretary of the party. He did not tender resignation. If he had resigned before he went to contest that election in Imo State, that is a different thing. And I'm sure the court would have taken a position on that. He did not tender resignation. He didn't.
He took leave of absence.
Simple as that.
That was what he did.
And immediately after the election,
he took leave of absence and asked his deputy
to
act in his
on his behalf
pending when he returned.
It's as simple as that.
And after he returned, the party was going on peacefully, and then suddenly
until the vested interest now came in. That's only the point we are talking about. It is self-inflicted. I really do not have pity for them because at that level, they should have known that 2027, given what is actually happening in the country, one way or the other, is an opportunity for them as a party to regroup. But because of the interests of what I do not want to mention them, we all know where this interest lies. That is the challenge we are having.
Now, the question, George, at the end of the day would be, this is the question I want to ask because I am trying to make this whole thing make sense to me. These PDP governors that are doing this, playing both sides, do they have interest in running for second tenure? Even if they are done with their some of them are done with their second tenure, it is not hidden that in Nigerian politics, they would want to, put their anointed in that position. Do they have interest in doing it on the platform of PDP? If they have interest in doing it on the platform of PDP, why act in a manner that will further balkanize or exacerbate an already bad situation? Or are there plans to defect to APC, but before defecting to APC, the thing is, let us completely destabilize the PDP to a point that they cannot even run goodbye elections before defection.
Politics in Nigeria is dynamic, just like any other place in the world. There is that latitude given to politicians, even the elected officials, to move from party. They see party as a vehicle. Politicians see party as a vehicle. It's a means to an end. It's not an end on its own. So even if it means party Z that will take me to the promised land, what matters is I want to get to the promised land. It doesn't really matter the party that took me there. So that is exactly the point. Now, like I said, this is a fight between two poles, North and South Pole, for instance. So they want to fight to finish. Nobody wants to. So at the end of the day, they may end up destroying the party. And once it is convenient for them, they switch to whatever party they want to, just to run the election. At the end of, as you can see, some of them, even some of the governors, have openly come out to endorse the president for second term. What that means is that it's a give and take thing. They will still be in their party, PDP, to secure their own re-election for governorship. But for them, their interest is the president. So whoever that is
when you say there will still be, when you say there will still be in PDP to secure their position
That is if the
to
party,
be
that is if the
re-elected.
party.
That's if there is a party that is
That is,
existing
we're
by
saying
that
the
time.
same thing. We're saying the same thing here. Listen, if at the end of the day the party survives, they might still be there because the party is a household name already registered in the minds of the people in their localities. Like we say, every election is local. You understand? So if at the end of the day the party becomes a dead party that is no longer alive to contest the election, it won't take anything to switch. We all saw what happened in Delta State. How long did it take? How long? We were hearing it as rumor. Within a few days, everything was 100% done, and today they are in APC. They have been received. So, like I said, politics is dynamic here. These politicians understand what is happening in PDP is self-inflicted. They are fighting to finish because they have their vested interest. At the end of the day, is if the party did not survive it, both camps will switch to wherever will be convenient for them to contest the election for 2027.
All right, very well.
Laurentia, there is something I'm looking at this.
Go ahead.
I am beginning to sense that there is a revolution that is coming.
How?
That's what I will just present now. PDP, those who are in PDP, who claim to be PDP, that PDP run in their blood, will begin to see that PDP does not run in their blood. Rather, they run in the blood of PDP. And when they no longer want to run in the blood of PDP, they can switch camp. Not even the national chairman of PDP seem to love PDP in the now. Not the chairman, PDP Governors Forum seem to love PDP in the now. You see the vice chairman of PDP Governors Forum, the embattled governor of Rivers State. You see what is happening to him. And some of us are advising that he should decamp. Yes, because that may be better for him. But we are not.
Party?
To maybe APC, because
APC?
that is where the umbrella has shifted. The umbrella that PDP had get
in
before.
Rivers State.
APC, wherever.
Right.
So, but however, that's not withstanding. You see, as this thing is happening now, George says something, that the politicians see political party as a vehicle. And I was speaking in one of the media stations with one of the PDP stalwarts. And he said, I don't want to mention his name, he said that if you are traveling and your vehicle breaks down on the road, and that journey is very important, will you stay with that vehicle in that place? The answer is no. You join a moving vehicle. And as it stands now, PDP is like a broken vehicle. So anybody who is still there is either standing waiting for the arrival of his own vehicle to move to where he's going to. Now, what this will do to us, or for us as citizens, is that we will stop looking at political party as our focus in determining who becomes our leader.
Right.
Because by the time we see that politicians are simply playing with political party, we will now begin to look at individuals. Who is this man, irrespective of his political party? Because initially I told us that Southeast was a kind of PDP bound zone, geopolitical zone.
But you cannot take away the function of the party in making of or the success of a candidate in
that
elections.
is what it happened
now,
in the past.
In as much as P2B appeared to be a favorite in 2023, there was a massive movement worldwide in support of P2B. I mean, there were organic movements. A lot of people voted, stood under the rain to defend their votes. Even in face of violent attacks, they stood to defend their votes. Your guess is as good as mine what happened. Not just that, one of the major challenges that Labour Party had, that P2B had, was that Labour Party was not widespread.
Yeah.
They didn't get to the remotest part of certain local governments, but you had APC, you had PDP in all these places. In certain polling units, Labour Party didn't have agents covering those polling units. These were real-time situation. So when you say take away it's time Nigerians take away the political party and look at the candidate, that is very, very okay. However, until we come to a point where we have political parties that are cohesive in nature, like the APC and PDP, widespread in that sense, then we can say, okay, we now have a viable third force.
See,
or third force, because right now I don't know where to grade the Labour Party, a viable third force.
The example you just presented now is one of the major things I'm holding on when I said that a revolution is coming. Labour Party was not popular. A man came and said, I will do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. People loved him. And because of him, they entered into Labour Party. Now, the Labour Party leadership failed woefully. Because why I say woefully is that we use our hands to carry Labour Party to places that they were not known. And telling people it is about this, it is about that. Mama, Papa, Pikin was our slogan, not Labour Party slogan. It was obedient slogan. And you see how people followed Obi. And because they followed Obi even into what ordinarily they shouldn't have done. Because you see some people who they may say were not proper politicians, or who don't have the money required to, sponsor their campaign and things like that. But because of obedient movement, most of them secured their seats. Now, we are beginning to see that. In as much as Labour Party failed, when we come to Abure matter, we might discuss that. But you see how much the face of Obi did in virtually every state in Nigeria. But APC and PDP, being more grounded in leadership, played their role very well. So I'm beginning to see that Nigerians will begin to, take their decision based on candidates and not on political party. And as a fact, if we don't get it in 2027, we may get it in 2031.
All right, very well.